Chris the Problem Duncan, who is finally getting his big shot in the Contender Series at the end of this month. Chris, how are things? How has training been?
Good, mate, good, yeah. Just down at Four Corners now, and then obviously training with all the boys down here. It made me feel really welcome down here, and it's just like home away from home, to be totally honest with you. It's all good, man. As soon as I came down here that first week, it was just felt perfect, So
I had to ask you about that because obviously when I was sat in Four Corners up in Liverpool, talk to me about the move down and maybe some of the reasons behind that.
just I'm the only pro from my gym back home, so there's a few good amateurs and stuff like that, and then there's also Robert Whiteford, who I train with back home, but I'm needing some bigger guys to spar. Robert's a 145er and I'm a 155er, but I'm like the higher end of the 55 bracket, so it's good to get down with like Justin and stuff like that. He's a big welterweight, so, and big Jack Grant as well, so it's been good to get down, and there's a lot of good grapplers and that down here as well, so I just hit John up via Instagram, and he was just like, yeah, of course mate, come down. So it was great. It was just the way he welcomed them with open arms. It was just fantastic.
If you had to classify this gym in a weight class, it would be lightweight or welterweight. It
Yeah,
seems to be the weight class, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's very important, especially going through your fight camp, to spar with guys your own weight, because it gives you a better perspective on how your training's actually going, because sparring with a middleweight or sparring with a bantamweight, it's just not right, you know. So that's why the main reason why I came here is because those boys they're kind of welterweight side, and I'm a kind of big lightweight, so the training's been absolutely fantastic. So yeah,
I had to ask you about this, and because every Friday I see that picture you put on your story of the car and on the motorway back up to Scotland.
Oh yeah.
First of all, how long is the journey from here to Scotland?
4 hours.
4 hours.
It's not that bad, to be totally honest with you, man. As soon as you get on that M6, you're just straight down the road. It's worth it. I just had a newborn baby, so it's good to get focused on training Monday to Friday, and then go home and see my wee girl. So I feel bad for my girlfriend because she's having to do all the work, but I'll make up for that after I get this UFC contract. I'll take the wee one to Disneyland or something.
How difficult is that, being away from the newborn and obviously being away from home, coming down here? Presumably you're more focused on the fight, which would be one advantage.
Yeah. Well, being down here kind of takes away all the kind of the distractions, if you like things like night feeds and stuff like that are quite taxing, especially if you're doing like a big training session. And it's not just like getting up to do the night feeds. You get up in the night feeds, and then you're like waiting for the bottle to be ready, and you're eating a little snack, and you know, all that stuff's like put out the window. So fortunately enough, my girlfriend's really on board with what I've got and what I'm going to be doing. So if it wasn't for her and the type of person she is, I don't think this would have been possible, because I don't care what anybody says, like it's going to be tough regardless of how you're coupled up with somebody. And I think my girlfriend is just so easygoing, and she understands where I want to be, and she just believes in as much as I do that the UFC is my dream, and she wants to help me, push me, and go to achieve that. So I'm very lucky to have her, obviously.
Let's talk about the fight. As we mentioned, 28th of September, you're fighting an opponent who's 7-0.
Yeah.
Forgive me because I can't pronounce your opponent's name. Do you have any idea on your opponent? Maybe you could help me out with that.
Yeah, it was just he seems to do taekwondo. He seems to do some mad, crazy kicks. He's the same record as me. I don't think he's as well versed, because the guys he's been fighting is like 0-1. He's had a 2-year layoff, which he could have got better. But as much as it sounds like, you know, you need to kind of be fighting consistently, especially in this big stage. Like, I'm no fucking pushover. Like, I'm going in there to fucking put him out. Like, so it's going to be a quick night for him, to be totally honest with you.
That's what I wanted to ask you about, because this show, it revolves around action, it revolves around finishes, it revolves around impressing the boss.
Yeah.
You've obviously got the 100% finish rate, which I know you're very proud of.
Yeah.
That's obviously going to serve you as an advantage, because if you can get an impressive finish, you've got an even better chance of getting that contract.
Yeah, I think even though the finish and the domination and all that's going to be really important, they're going to look at my profile and see that I've been fighting top guys, and they're obviously going to be looking at him and like, he's got a bit of a padded record. But I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm not like, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not like
overlooking.
Yeah, I'm not overlooking how good he could be, because he could have got much better in those 2 years. So I'm just going to go out there and do my thing, man. Like, I've done it 7 times. It's not luck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to be something it comes naturally to me. So I'm just looking forward to going out and then putting him flat on his back and knocking him clean out. I'm looking for like a spectacular, because I've done a lot of TKOs and I've had a couple of knockouts, but I've not knocked somebody out like actually properly unconscious, like they're snoring. So looking forward to getting that in.
Because I think what sometimes happens with this show, because it's got the UFC media push behind it, when there is that spectacular finish, that flying knee we saw last night, or a amazing knockout, once that guy gets the contract and gets to the UFC, there's even more push behind them. People are already excited to see them.
Oh, definitely, yeah. That's the good thing about this, you know. Like, I'm not going to kid on to anybody. Like, I'm not the best fighter in the world at the moment. Like, I've got loads of room to grow. So the Dana White's Contender Series is a great platform and a good stepping stone for me, because these guys are going to push me accordingly. It's not like just going into the UFC, the pool, and just fighting all the killers, you know. So they're going to match me up with similar kind of styles and good styles, and also guys that are going to push me enough but not push me too far. Like, I'm not going to just jump in and fight like a top 10 guy, because you see what happens. But what's his name, he fought Tony Ferguson a wee while ago. Like, he just stepped in, you know, and he was like top 10, you know, Groovy,
Lando Venata.
Yeah, Lando Venata. So like, that guy just like stepped in a short notice fight and fought him. You know, that's the type of thing that I felt like I would have done if the circumstances hadn't came around. So you're not just like in there, you know, because if you fight a top 10 guy, like, where do you go from there? You don't really want to go back, do you? So I'm just happy to get this opportunity, and I'm looking forward to growing as a fighter, because I've learned so much from the guys down here, from John, from Jack, you know, Justin. I stole Dan's fucking choke off him. So I'm just happy to be here and learn, you know, because like, I don't have an ego, man. I don't mind getting tapped out in the gym and just learning and asking questions, eh?
Yeah, well, that's the point of the gym, isn't it? Ultimately the gym is meant to, where you're trying to put egos aside and trying to learn and improve, as you
definitely
say.
There's no point in having an ego, and you just got to get in here and learn and make sure you make the most of the time you have at the gym, you know, because you never know, you might never have that opportunity again, you know. You never know what happens, especially with COVID and stuff like that, you know. It's such a crazy time.
Have you watched the Contender Series previously? Have you watched it even last night? Last night with the first episode, and if so, what do you make of the show?
You know what, man? I've not really watched it, to be totally honest with you, but you know how you see the guys coming through, like Sugar Sean O'Malley, all that sort of stuff. You kind of see these breakthrough stars come through, and I'm just happy to be a part of that. And now that it's been on, I've made a point of going to watch it, and I'll watch it. I'll try and get it tonight, because obviously it was quite late last night, wasn't it? Did you watch it? Or
I watched it this morning, to be quite honest. Maybe said that off camera, but it may or may not have been a later stream.
A special stream, you'll need to say that.
Correct. Something I wanted to mention as well, if we look at the UFC ranks, and we look at, in particular, the two Scots that are flying at the moment, we've got Paul Craig and we've got Jojo Calderwood. Are they two fighters that inspire you? Two fighters that make you proud to be a Scot in MMA and look to improve even further?
Definitely. I've trained with Big Paul Craig a few times, and he's a good guy to be around, nice guy. And I've been in the gym with Jojo when she was at the Grip House, you know, and kind of seeing that person, you know, it's good to kind of see these guys as your peers and stuff like that, and it's great that they've laid out this path for you already, and I'm looking to follow them and like take all the good points. Like, I spoke to Paul about the visa opportunity and stuff like that, and then they were talking about when you go to the visa bureau and stuff like that, he was like, this is what you do, this is what they'll ask you. So it's like, it gives you a little bit of like freedom. You're like, oh, it's not like a test or anything like that, you know. He told me, like, you'll be fine. Because I've got a couple of charges on my account, or whatever they call it, and so is he. So he's like, nah, just chill, man. They're just going to interview you and ask you what happened and blah blah blah. He says it's totally fine. You're part of the fighting sport, so like, don't worry about it. You know, there is a bit of violence involved.
Well, for one final question, I'll turn the conversation back to the fight at hand. And I'm not sure if you're the man who's going to give me a prediction, but I'm going to ask someone nonetheless. What happens on the 28th of September?
Second round knockout.
Second round.
Yeah, second round. Yeah, pictured it a few times, but if he runs, he'll be done in one. And then, especially with this, the Contender Series, I think he will push forward a little bit more than he has done previously, because obviously there's a lot on the line. As much as it's a big opportunity for myself, it's going to be a big opportunity for him. So if he runs, he'll be done in 1. If he stands in front of me, I'll get him in 2.
Does it add any pressure to your... Obviously, you're someone who goes to finish and, as we've seen in your career, always gets it. But does it add any pressure knowing that you probably need a finish, or if at the very least a very dominant performance to get the nod?
Nah, not really, no. Like, it's in my blood, it's in my nature to go out there and try and finish. And, you know, every time I spar and every time I fight, you know, it's kind of the same thing, you know. So practice what you preach, and, you know, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But the way that I'm going into this fight, with the mentality that I have, it's going to be a shit show. Like, I'm going to make it hard. I'm going to make it dirty for him. So I'm just going to chin down, hands up, and come forward, and educated pressure, push him up against the fence, knock him out. Simple as.
Perfect, mate. Well, it's very much happy to see you in this big opportunity, and can't wait to see you back at the end of the month.
It'll be good, and then we can do a post-fight interview.
Of course, mate.
With the win.
Before we finish this, how can people find you on social media?
Just the Problem 155. That's my Instagram and my Twitter and stuff like that. Or even just type in Chris Duncan, it'll pop up, and give us a wee follow.
It's not the most unique nickname in the world, The Problem. We've seen a few there or thereabouts in combat sports, but where did your version of The Problem come from?
My ex-manager that I had before, you know, he struggled to get me fights and stuff like that, so he called me The Problem. And then obviously now, like, people see me, they're like, oh, he's a bit of a problem, and not a lot of people want to take a fight with me because they know I'm just coming forward and just looking for the finish all the time, so definitely a problem,
Superb, mate. And for one final question, the floor is yours. Anything you want to say, sign off with any sponsors or anything like that?
No, obviously all the sponsors that have been on board for this fight camp, I'm really appreciated. My coach Adam back home, he's at Evo Gym back home. Obviously John Gillies here, and all the boys at the Four Corners helping me out this fight camp. You know, it's a hard thing for people to like say thank you to everybody on social media and stuff like that, because there is that many people in behind you, supporting you and pushing you forward. So I'm just very grateful to have everybody that supports me, whether you've helped me out with gloves or a little bit of cash or whatever. You know, I need everybody to know that I'm very grateful for the chance that they've given me, you know, because it's made it much easier for me to do this fight camp with all the sponsors backing me. So yeah, very grateful.
Perfect, mate. Thanks for your time.
Perfect, thank you, mate. Cheers.